What is up, guys? Welcome to Garage 23, and this is our 2019 Nissan Armada. It has a dash off-road front bumper. It has our own tubular light mount, our own custom roof rack, rough country light bar, 35-inch tires on 17-inch Turbo Mac HDs. Yes, you can fit 17-inch wheels on Armadas. And to fit the 35-inch tires, we have a 3-inch Ironman 4x4 suspension lift, which actually on the US Armada is more like 4 or almost 5 inches. So keep that in mind. But this has been the longest running project and it's definitely caused the biggest headaches because of that lift. So the issue is Armadas are independent front and rear suspension. And when you lift the rear suspension, your alignment just goes out the window. You can't get the camber back into spec. You can't really get the toe back into spec. And you start going through tires every 4 to 6 months. And 35-inch tires ain't cheap. That was the main motivation to figure this out, and we have been trying to figure it out for the better part of 2 years. Some of you may have seen the video a while ago where we just said we were giving up on this because I couldn't figure it out, but hey, nothing like the crushing weight of failure and oppression to really get you through those roadblocks. So after a long period of time, they're finally ready. We finally figured it out. Yeah, they're ready for purchase. We have 4 sets ready to go right now. We've just been building them, and keep in mind it's only a team of 2 people, so we don't really know what the demand and market is going to be like, so I anticipate them going into back order pretty quick, but we're going to keep working on them and we're going to keep doing our best, so we just ask for your patience in that regard. But check out garage23.net and place your order today. All right, so like I said, we have an Ironman 4x4 suspension lift on this patrol. It's supposed to be 3 inches. I think it ended up a little higher than that, but I don't know. So our fender height on this is about 40 inches. So I don't remember what the stock height is, but you can compare that on your vehicle if your vehicle is still stock and you're thinking about getting a lift. But at this height, with the stock control arms, you have issues where your camber is far too positive and your toe is also, I think your toe is positive as well. I don't remember at this point if it's positive or negative. So with this already being maxed out and you still having positive camber and you trying to fix it by adding negative camber through the lower control arm here, that's going to push the front of the tire out, giving you toe out, which is very undesirable. You do not want to have toe out on the rear of your vehicle. That's going to make it like super squirrely and it's going to eat up your tires, as evidenced by our tire here of having been driven on the better part of 6 or 7 months now in this condition. The issue is you basically need the upper control arm to bring the top of the tire back in. And we had initially done that with an adjustable control arm. That turned out to be a big mistake because when you make it adjustable, just due to the fact that these control arms aren't bolted to the vehicle in a perpendicular fashion, they're like bolted like kind of at an angle. That makes the control arms, when they're adjustable, affect the caster more than the camber, which the camber is the main thing we're trying to fix here. So that's why we moved away from an adjustable design. The other issue was the relationship between your tow rod, your tow bucket in this case, and your upper control arm. That's what controls the stability or the toe gain throughout the suspension curve. So that was the biggest issue we had through this whole thing, and that's what's taken us like 2 years to figure out. Most ball joints or uniballs that you buy, they have their own supplied inserts. That's what kind of limits the range of motion that it has. And I was like, if you look at that, the bottom edge is like already at the edge of where the housing sits. So I was like, okay, that's as low as it can go. And we moved on and tried to make other design changes. But in the back of my mind, I always knew this was the underlying issue, is that this needs to be lower. But I was like, you can't lower it anymore. It is what it is. But the thing I overlooked there, these ball joints are rated for about 30 degrees of deflection, whereas the stock ball joints can only do like maybe 20. So the Armada can't get anywhere near this. So you never need to be worried about that maximum contact point, because the Armada is only going to get to like about there. So then I was like looking at the knuckle too. That's got a ton of meat and you should be able to clearance a little bit if needed. So that's when I made the most substantial change to this design in the whole 2 years that I've been working on this. Is I lowered the ball joint and brought it closer to the knuckle, and Again, I clearance this for the maximum range of motion, which is not necessary at all. But if you do care about suspension travel and you are going to be off-roading your Armada, then you will need to clearance a little bit. I would definitely recommend just clearancing it to the point where at full droop, you're not having any contact, because I suspect if your rear wheel drops hard enough, it might at least like bend the rod a little bit. So to avoid that, I would at least clearance a little bit. But if you're not going off-roading and you're just getting these to fix your tire wear and alignment issues, and you just daily your Armada like a normal person, then you don't need to do this at all. Like, I've been running these without clearancing on ours for a couple months now, and it's been totally fine. Like, you never have to worry about like the suspension at full droop, because that doesn't really happen in daily driving. The only time that would like really happen is like when they jack up the truck to change the tires or something, which it's not really a concern. Yeah, with this one change, it's just totally fixed now. Like, it literally ticks all the boxes. It will get you to the trail. It'll do 100 on the freeway. It'll dominate on the trail, which is super exciting, because that was one aspect that was always like super satisfying to me, because like you go on the trails, and we've been out there with a few of our friends, and they have like much more capable purpose-built vehicles like 4Runners, Jeeps, Tacomas, some Chevys, and you show up there with an Armada, and like everyone's super nice and cool and everything, right? But like, you know, they're kind of like not taking you seriously, which is understandable. I mean, nobody really off-roads Armadas, but hey, we're here to change that. So let's do something about it, because like these are fantastic. The Armada does phenomenal off-road. Like, it was super satisfying seeing all these guys with like more capable purpose-built vehicles get stuck, having to get pulled out, have traction issues, and then here comes this little mall crawler just crawling up a 30-degree incline like no problem, and just making everything look easy. Like, that's fantastic. Like, this is such a slept-on vehicle. Like, it is fantastic. So can't wait for more of you guys to get out there to get these arms and share your adventures with us, because they're gonna do fantastic. So we'd like to do a big thanks to our testers, Marco, George, Matt, and of course our certified welder, John, for putting all these together. So that's gonna be it. Please check out garage23.net to pick up a set if you need one today. And remember, always do your best.